Welcome to A Lunch with Biggie, a podcast about small business and creatives sharing their stories and inspiring you. My guest today, like many, got bored and creative during the pandemic. But when the pandemic got rough, she got tufting. Rug tufting, that is. Please welcome the owner of Rugged Perspective, Arelys Arias Rodriguez. What's going on?
Hey, what is up? Just here, ready to eat. It's tasty takeover day.
Oh, I know. It is Tasty Takeover Day for you guys
Yeah.
over there where you're at. So, I really appreciate you coming on. We've never actually met. I've pretty much followed you on social. I think what you're doing is amazing and super interesting. And so I kind of wanted to just spend a little bit of a lunch break with you since it is my lunch break. What's your usual go-to like lunch or sandwich?
Oh, damn. I mean, dang.
You can say damn.
Sandwich. Okay, damn. I'm just a simple type of person. So some turkey with cheese, American cheese, lettuce, tomato, oil, vinegar, salt, and pepper. That's it.
Okay.
That's
What
my
kind of
my
bread
type
out of
of food.
curiosity?
Um,
What about bread?
white bread. White bread.
Okay. No, that's super good. That's super
Yeah.
easy. So tell people a little bit about what is Rugged Perspective. Like how did it all come about? Like how did you get into rug tufting? What is rug tufting? Like give me the origin story.
So rug tufting, I'm sure there's different ways of like creating rugs. You have like your punch needle, there's like latch hook. I feel like tufting is probably the easiest because it's done with a machine, a mechanical machine. But yeah, so it goes way far back. I don't know like the whole history of it, but how I started, I saw it on Instagram in an interview that Tyler Creator was talking to or was talking about. And I
Mm-hmm.
was bored at home, so I was like, I might as well try this out. And that's how I kind of got into it back in 2020. Wasn't great at it. Like I was creating holes for, I want to say 6 to 8 months, just wasting material, tried selling my gun, no one would take it. And so it finally worked out. And I was like, all right, I'm making rugs.
Wait,
So
wait,
that's
hold
how.
on. So I know from what I saw and what I've read and from us communicating, like you obviously like were like I made a like you started you're like I got to do something. So you got creative, started drilling. You actually didn't you make like a bed as one of
I
your things?
did. I
Like
did.
so
So,
you definitely started like Barbara the Builder type stuff. You were like going in and doing all that stuff.
yeah,
Uh,
because I mean, I was in my garage. So my garage was like my game room at the house. There was nothing to do. They closed the park that I would run at every day at Cranes Roost. So I was like just chilling at home, playing Animal Crossing. There's just so many trees you can shake and how many islands you can visit. So I was like, all right, I have to do something. And Lowe's was like the only place open at the time.
yeah.
So I would just go to Lowe's every day and just purchase a drill because I wanted to make a bed, built my bat screen porch, the neon signs. So it was just trying to, trying to find something to preoccupy like my time.
No, I get that. And then before COVID, you were doing. I think I read. Were you like doing photography, like for
Yeah.
concerts and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Is
So I used to shoot for South by Southwest. So that's something I used to do and I miss doing.
yeah,
But, with work, couldn't do that anymore.
yeah.
But yeah, that's what I used to do, shoot
And
photos.
so then, as you were saying, you went 6 months. You started doing. You were doing it. You were rug tufting, which
Mhm.
basically what it is. It's a cool looking machine. It's basically like two things of yarn forms like a thread, like a needle almost, and it
Yeah.
punches through
Into a
the
frame.
onto the you have kind of like a which worked out that you had to drill because you have to create that frame
Yeah.
like that square frame in order to kind of put the
Yeah.
yeah and then kind of put that information in and do that. And then what made you like what was the first thing you made that actually like you were like, wow, I'm proud of this? And then I think you started doing commissions, right?
Yeah. So the first thing well, actually, my first rug was like a Nike sign, but it wasn't really a Nike sign. It was like a bunch of holes. But the first thing I made that I'm proud of that's in my room, it's a sky with some clouds, something super simple with open space because I knew I couldn't mess that up. And then from there, I did like I'm Peruvian, so I did like our Peru logo, all that nice stuff. So I started from that and then commission work from there on.
And then when you started doing commission work, was it one of those things where like you were like you started posting on Instagram and then just people just started following and going like, hey, I want one of those, and like they slide
Yeah,
into
so that's
DMs and saying, can you make me this?
Yeah, that's how it started. But initially, like I did it, I'm not active on Instagram. And if you follow me, I don't really post. I'll post on my
Yeah,
stories, but not an actual post. So I used to do critical mass a lot, like where we would bike the last Friday of every
yeah.
month downtown. And I met some bikers and he would follow me. He saw me making rugs. He's like, you should make a page, like you could blow up. Like this is a thing. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. So like the following week, I made a page because kept on harassing me about it. And then from there, like I just grew like a following, not that big of a following, like because I'm now of the shop, but enough where I had people from Texas reaching out, from like different states asking for commissioned work, or like asking me questions on tufting. So that's how it kind of started. It's like people were DMing me from Delaware, like, oh, how can you make this? Like, you're the only person that's responding. Like, I appreciate you. You're not gatekeeping. So then I would show them videos of how to patch, like if they do holes on their frames, like stuff like that. So it kind of grew to that, to me, just showing in my garage friends and family how to make rugs, to having a pop-up in Altamont last year. So yeah.
Yeah, and when you did the pop-up, you started doing like workshops, right? That's kind of like what made you decide to do the first. How many people were at the first workshop that you did?
Well, 0. So the first one,
I love it.
the first one where it was just like family and friends, it was nice. It was overwhelming. Of course, it was free because it was family and friends. I really didn't get my first actual customer till like I want to say a month and a half, 2 months later. So it was a slow start for sure, but it felt great. Like my first sale, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Someone actually wants to learn, and that was because they saw me on, I think it was Yelp. I posted a giveaway on Yelp, and that's how it kind of started.
Did you go the route of like, as the commissions grew, you started buying more tufting, like the guns, more of those tuftings? Is that how you kind of did it, or were you just using like, I have one gun and we're gonna all use the one gun?
No, when I started doing workshops, that's when I purchased like a batch of guns. So I did like a bulk order of guns, not knowing if it was going to pop off or not. I mean, I had a feeling it was going to. It was just getting the word out there, which was kind of hard to do at first.
Yeah.
But no, I had my initial gun, which was like super industrial, heavy. I want to say like 10 pounds, so heavy. I think that's why I kept on making holes in my rugs, because it was just mad heavy. But yeah, and then I purchased like 12 guns when I did the workshops.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So you definitely went all, you kind of went all in then, because I know there's like a few $100, right? Those guns are a few $100.
Yeah, they're like, I get my stuff from Tough the World, so that's what I started off with. So
It's
I
like,
trust them.
yeah.
They range from like 240 to like 300.
I was gonna say, I was looking, I was looking at the page, and I was like, oh man, I'm like, so I'm like,
Damn.
these things start adding up.
Yeah, and then
You know,
when people drop them, I'm like, oh, all right. When
there's
their hair gets hot, I'm like, oh, all right. It's okay. It's okay.
So tell people a little bit, so give me the process of like, at what point, so obviously you said, you were doing it for 6 months. Then you start, you kind of said, okay, I kind of got the hang of this. Commission started happening, started doing workshops. At what point after the workshops, you're like, you know what? I think I want to open a spot and do this.
Yeah. Oh, end of 2021, like I had the idea already. I just didn't know how to, like, I never ran a business. Like, how do you go about
Yeah.
that? So it was really just all talk. Like, I would tell people, like, yeah, I'm opening up a business. I would do like pop ups, or like when I would have tables set up where there was like food trucks. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to teach classes, but it never happened. Then my cousin reached out. He was like, yo, Cuzzle, you should like definitely do a class. Like, you're popping off already on Instagram. And I'm like, oh, okay, we'll see. And then I went to like a business business networking thing, and then she mentioned it, and I was like, okay, so maybe I should. So from there, what was the question again? My bad. I like lost myself in the story.
No, my question was, what led you to it? I mean, you're driving, you're still going there.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
my question is, what led you to go, oh, I'm going to open a store now? Cause I mean, you're kind of, you did like a workshop. I don't know how many workshops you did before you decided you're like, I'm going to open a spot.
Well, I was in my garage, so I don't know, probably a couple from my garage where it finally, people kept on reaching out asking for a workshop. And I was like, all right, I can't take you to my house, so I need a spot.
Yeah.
Because I don't want random people in my garage. So
Correct.
from there on, I was just searching, looking for a place. And it's so hard to get a place, especially if you're a new business. So it was just really just me calling places. They're asking for like business plans, like how much I made. And I'm like, well, this is a brand new thing, so I can't really show you how much I've done. But I was like, but trust me, it's going to work. So it was hard.
And then you came across to the spot. You're right next to the Nook in the Milk District, right?
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
Well, let's start with the pop-up.
Yeah.
I actually found that place on Facebook Marketplace. So I encourage anyone, if you need a spot, I would have never thought to search there, but someone told me to look on Facebook Marketplace, and that's how I was able to get this pop-up place on the weekends for the summer.
And where, and
Um,
that was in Altamont, right?
yeah, next to like Brantley Luna Fit Gym. They were renting out a space for they're looking for a massage therapist, but they couldn't find one at the time. So I went in there just asking like, hey, like, can I rent out the space on the weekends? Trying to do something. So thankfully they said yes. And that's what kind of helped me to like create this rugged perspective thing that I've been trying to do for so long. So
No, I love that. I never would have thought that. That's awesome. Hey, out of curiosity, do you think that would work if like you wanted to do, like you and a bunch of small businesses wanted to do a pop up, like an indoor pop up during the summer? You think that would work if you kind of went that route for the summer?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, you just have to reach out to whoever's like listing it and just talk to them. Because if no one's renting it out, then they might as well make something out
Yeah.
of it's like a vacant spot. Like, why not? You know?
Yeah. No, I love that. That
Mhm.
is a great idea. Have you always been entrepreneurial like this? Like have you always kind of had the hustle and kind of had do different things? Because I saw it
Um,
when you started saying neon signs and all that stuff, I was like, oh, I'm like, she definitely she's a creative, but she also like it seems like you like being creative, but at the same
yeah.
time, I'm like, she's selling all these things. I'm like, that's a cool bunch of little different hustles. I like it.
Man, if I can do everything for free, I would. I don't think so. I know my mom, she had a cleaning business growing up. So that's like the only thing I can say. I used to like write stuff on notepads. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get an office job. And now I have an office job. I'm like, it's not for me. But but no, I don't know. I mean, I do neon signs. I don't sell them, but
Okay.
eventually I hope to do classes here doing neon signs.
What about, so then, okay, so do you currently right now, you currently have a full-time job and you're doing, and you do rugged perspective, like is it on the weekends or during the week in the evenings, things like that? Tell
Yes.
Give folks a
Mhm.
little bit of an idea. Like if you go on the website and they're like, okay, I don't know anything, and we're gonna kind of give so people have an idea of what it is, because
Yeah,
like how the process works, because I kind of want you to like spell it out. One, because I'm intrigued, because I want one. Like I'm gonna show, I want my mascot as
that's
a carpet.
perfect.
So like I want him,
Love it.
and but I at the same time I'm like I'm intrigued by it because I see all the different things people have created. So I kind
Mhm.
of want to know, like tell people a little bit, like okay, so they go on your website, and what's the process like? What is it, what can they expect, or what do they need to provide, and things like that?
So when you book online, the only thing you have to provide, which you don't have to right when you check out, but it's the image you want to create. So there's like an upload section when you book, and if it's doable, I'll have it ready for you to at the class. And all materials are provided. You just literally just come into the class. I'm like, all right, let's go make my rug that I already have traced out for you, so you don't have to go in and draw or do anything. I have that ready for you. But on the site, so every month I'll list the next month's like classes. They sell out, so I try to get the subscribers, like my email subscribers, like the first like dibs, and then I'll announce it to the public. But you can pretty much do anything. One thing I'll try to tell you to avoid is text. That's kind of hard to do because you have such a small frame. I mean, there's two sizes of frames. We have the 2x3, which is like our small frames, and our large frames, which is a 3x3, which is wider. But yeah, you could pretty much do anything. And if you mess up, I'm always here to help, and no one would know. So there you go.
How
Our little
long does
secret.
it, how long, like when you start to, like how easy, obviously not everyone is the same in like their, how they are like in some in crafts and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
like how quickly do people start picking it up where they're like starting to start going? And also how long is a class? Because I can't, I can see I can see it going pretty long, I can in
Yeah.
some cases.
Well, again, it depends on the person, like you said, and the design you select. But some people pick it up within 10 minutes, and I'm just there observing. And then some other people need like more hands-on, especially when you're hitting like the curves. But I'm always there to explain. In the beginning of the class, we do like a demo, and then I'll show you, and then we do it together, and then you guys go off on your own. But let's say you do like your design, I'd say it probably take like 2 hours. But again, it depends on you. Like I see people that are zoned out and they can finish it within an hour and a half. And then you have other people that are like chilling, especially if you're there with your friends or boyfriend, girlfriend, and then it'll take you like 3 to 4 hours. But again, it depends on how complex the design is.
What things that I was telling some folks that I was going to be interviewing you, because they were like, I've never heard of this. And I kind of was like, I was like, well, I'm like, it's kind of like like I think of it as one of the same thing as like if you were to paint pottery, or if you were
Yeah.
to go the route of, doing like how people love to go the painting classes and do
Oh,
like the
yeah.
couples, bring some wine and paint. Well,
Yeah.
same thing. You just bring some wine or bring some food
Mhm.
and do some tufting and do some rugging,
Yeah.
and kind of work it that way. What have I know I saw one of the ones that you did was like a Bad Bunny one, like it was like a pretty large one, because
Yeah.
you were doing some pretty. I think I saw a cap like an Iron Man one, and I saw
Oh,
like a few, like there's some big ones that you were doing. Were those some of those commissions that you were working on? Because I mean,
yeah, so that was my work before I did the workshops. And actually, the Iron Man, which I'm kind of mad I did, that was a giveaway. So someone won that.
wow,
I know. I should have rigged it, but I didn't because I'm an honest person.
that's all, and that was a big rug too. That was not like that was did not
Yeah.
look small.
No, man, that took me so long every day after work till 3 in the morning. But I loved doing it. It was nice. And I'm always listening to like a podcast or listening to my music or my K dramas in the background. So every rig I do, like there's an album I like connected to. So I just
Really?
listen. Yeah.
Okay. What that's pretty amazing. Like I think it's so cool that what you're creating and what you're doing. What do you think has been the hardest part of this process? Because I mean, obviously, this can't be easy trying to tell people, especially if you're like you said in the beginning, trying to find a spot and tell people like, hey, this is what my business is, and they're like, what is that?
Mhm.
Even though it's
Yeah.
been something that's been happening forever.
Hmm.
Like rug tufting is something, I know obviously hand wise manually it was done manually, but now with the gun it makes it a heck of a lot easier to produce carpets and rugs like that.
I would say starting it because I want to say 4 to 5 months. I would go on my break just looking for locations with my sister, and when I would call like the realtors, and I guess I have like a kiddish voice, so they didn't take me seriously. But I was like, "What do you mean? I own a rug tufting workshop. Right now, I'm in my garage." So like that was not it. Like they weren't feeling that. So like I said, just getting a place was probably the most hardest part. And then the next one would be like just getting the word out there because I didn't have content to show. Like I would reuse like the same people just to show content so people can have an idea like, oh, this is what a rug tufting workshop is. Like if you see my early videos, you'll see my cousin and sister there like 1,000 times, just like in different positions and clothes until it finally picked up, you know?
No, I get it. Is it just you doing the classes, or I know obviously I'm assuming you have a band of people helping out when you need help, like family and friends and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I have my cousin who she took my first Bad Bunny workshop that I hosted, and I was like, "Damn, this girl's good." And she's a stay-at-home mom, so she loves it. She's always here helping me with the classes, so you'll meet her when you take the class. And then my mom, she works on the yarn. She'll like wind up all the yarns, turn them into cakes, and then my
Yeah,
sister. So it's like
that's
a whole
awesome.
family thing.
So
It's nice.
definitely a family thing. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. No, that's so much fun. What do you think? I'm I think sometimes one of the hardest parts when you're trying to do all this stuff is just like how to just trying to get the word out. Like how do you think I mean, I've seen newspaper articles about
I
you. I've seen different things, which is
don't
great.
believe it.
What How have you gotten the word out? Because when it's something like this where it's new and not many people, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the cool thing. It's the uniqueness of it, I think, is
Hmm.
what helps with the like recognition and remembering. But
Yeah.
what do you think has been like, how have you been able to get the word out, and tell people like, hey, this is what I got going on, and come take a class?
So Instagram, I feel like it's like number one place how I was able to get people in. So I did like early in the weekly, the giveaway. I would walk around like my friends hated me because I would always have my business cards, and I'm like, if I feel like you look like the type that would take a class, I'd be like, hey, like here, I have a new business. If you want to make a rug, I teach classes. So that's what I did. And then influencers, man, like these foodies, thank God for them because I want to say Tabitha from Eat Me Orlando, she came when I had the pop up, and her just posting it brought a lot of people. Lemon Hearted when she came out,
She's
Riz,
great.
it's like a community thing. So I feel like if you have a business, like you go with Instagram and have people or you post about it and other people post about it. So
I
Instagram.
One of the things that you said, which I appreciate, is the fact that like you would go up to people and give them your card. Because I think a lot of times people don't want to. I don't know, there's a certain level of being timid or afraid of just telling people like, hey, oh, I think you'd like this. Why don't you come?
Yeah.
You know, and like the worst they can say is no, but a lot of
No,
people don't want to do that, right?
no. And I always like second guess myself. I'm like, should I? I'm like, I might as well because I don't know this person. And if they say no, then all right, whatever. And if they say yes, then okay, you have someone to take your workshop. Yeah, my friends would hate it because I would be at concerts waiting in line. I'm like, oh, hey, girl. Like, that's how I get into the conversation. I'm like, hey, girl, I
Wait,
make rugs.
I was gonna say what is the line? I mean, because
I don't even
for
know.
me, it's like, hey, you like sandwiches, or
I
like
know,
let's do
right?
something. Like at least I can go that route. But it's like,
Jersey
hey,
Mike's.
you like rugs? You like rugs? Who doesn't need a rug? You need a rug? You know what I
No,
mean? Like,
for like Bad Bunny, because I posted, I want to say, I think
yeah.
4 times Bad Bunny workshops. Like, ooh, he needs to come to the next one. If not, I'm gonna go crazy. If I knew they like Bad Bunny, or I would, if I was at the concert in line, I'd be like, hey, I'm hosting a Bad Bunny workshop. That's how I kind of do it. Or I just say, hey, like I was at Tori's last week. And I was in line waiting, and I was like, "Oh, if you guys are looking for something to do on Valentine's Day, I have a workshop, stuff like that."
Do you
So,
have you done a Taylor Swift one by out of
no, but
curiosity?
I'm going to.
Okay. I'm gonna have to get my daughter's probably gonna want one because
Yeah,
she in for her room. That'd be perfect.
yeah. So we
That'd
would
be
do like
perfect.
the albums or like discos and just listen to Taylor Swift
It's very fun.
music.
I think it's awesome. So like what? So when you do it, are all of them different themes? I know you do some of them. I've seen some of them where you have like the leftover scraps of like, hey, this is what we have. So which
Yeah,
is very smart because obviously you got to use everything that you have.
yeah.
Do you come up? Do you just come up with different themes every month? And some of them obviously are like, hey, I have some are themed, and some of
Mhm.
them are just like, hey, what do you want to make? Let's just make something you want to make.
I just come up with them every month, however I feel or I'm in the mood of doing. I mean, I'm open
Okay.
to suggestions as always. Someone told me to do Taylor Swift, so I was like, all right. I'm like, I'm down. It's cool. But I had like R&B night last Friday. I kind of like gear it towards music because that's what I like music a lot. So I've done that. I want to do top your favorite albums. So you upload one of the albums that you like, and then we'll listen to that music throughout the class. Because I would like to hear what other people like listen
Yeah.
to, and it's not like the same old. So I just trying to gear it towards that. So
No,
I
I
wanted
love
to
that.
feel like an experience, like oh yeah,
Yeah.
we had so much fun at Rugged. I wanted to feel like a dance party. That's what it is.
Okay. I love that. I love that. Have you done like an Orlando themed one where it's like all the Orlando sports teams?
No, but I want to
All right.
because I love the magic. You know.
Yeah. I love the I like all the sports. Heck, I'd make one just with all the different teams on there because I'm all about the Orlando, all of those teams. So all anything Orlando I'm down for.
I want to do like a Florida thing where we do like I-4 or just like Florida State. You know, I'm from Jersey, but I grew up here. But I love Orlando, so
We're in Jersey.
Perth Amboy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you call it how long have you lived in Florida versus New Jersey?
I lived here my whole life. I
Okay.
moved down here when I was 6. So
Okay, so I'm not gonna ask you well, maybe I can't ask you because your family,
what
like,
exit?
does your family call? Yeah, people ask that. I'm from Jersey. People love asking that one. No, the other one, mine's food related. I was gonna say, do you guys call it Taylor ham or pork roll?
All right, no. Well, I come from a Spanish family, so I don't think
No, I agree with that because I'll be honest, I'm Cuban and my family did not eat it either. I ate it because I had a lot of American friends. My family did not eat any tail. They don't know what any of that is. They're like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Jamon." I'm like, "No, no, mom, it's not ham. That's not puerco. That's not pork. That's not pork roll." That's how they would be. So I get it. I totally
yeah.
get it. No, I think it's really cool what you've created and what you're doing. So I don't know if you actually fully gave me an answer. Do you have a full-time job and this is like, or is this your full-time job right now?
I do have a full time job. I work downtown at an accounting firm, which is like a 7-minute drive. So I'll host classes like after work some days
Yeah.
and then on the weekends. But yeah, I have a full time. And right now it's like it's tax season, so it's busy.
Uh-huh. I was gonna say
So,
you're in your busy time. And then how do you balance that? How do you balance that? And
man.
two, I'm assuming your work knows because or maybe knows, and it's okay if they don't, because listen, no one I don't I use there's a
they're gonna
reason
know.
why there's a reason why I use Biggie on my all my stuff.
Oh, okay.
There's a reason why I use Biggie in my world because I have a corporate job too. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious on how
Uh-huh.
you balance it and not burn yourself out.
It's something I'm still learning to juggle. Yeah, it's something I'm learning to juggle. They don't. I feel like some people do know, not all. I try not to talk about it too much, but they know because they see me like on Facebook, Instagram, Orlando Weekly. Like one of my coworkers saw me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I am an Orlando Weekly, the newspaper." So it's like, but I mean, I still have my weekends free, so that's I try to
Yeah.
spend my time at the shop. But I also have to balance like I want to be with my family. I love being with my family on Sundays, so I try to try to balance that too. But it's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it is hard.
I was gonna say it's got to be hard because like if you like it's one of those where at the same time like you're like I got to pay rent, so it's like I got
Yeah.
to pay rent, I got to do workshops, and then it's like how often can I do it? So right now, what like how are you balancing it now in the sense of like how often are you doing? Are there workshops during the course of the week?
Not so much, especially because of tax season. Before I used to, I mean, in the summer last year, of course, it was just on the weekends. And now I try to limit it to like 2 times a week. So for sure on Tuesdays because of Tasty Takeover, and then Fridays. And then if someone wants to do like a private party, then I'm open to that. Because I also have my cousin that helps out. So she can also teach the class if anything.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's what's your favorite thing about it? What's your favorite thing about doing this and seeing people create things?
Oh man, their reaction, like after their rugs are done, they're like, "Oh shit, like I made this." I'm like, "Yeah, you did." It's cool. It's cool turning like literally like a blank canvas, like nothing, and then you turn it into something you're gonna see every day in your room or your house. So it's nice. That's why my thing is I made that ish because you made it. That's like
No, I
my
love it.
byline thing. So
I love it. What's the craziest thing you've seen someone create?
it's on my page. Actually, there's two things. So if you go on the homepage of the website, someone did Medusa, and I thought that was crazy. I told her not to make it, but she's like, "No, I want to." I was like, "All right." She was here like the full 4 hours, but it came out so nice. Like I didn't want to give it back. It came out really dope because you had all the snakes and everything. It was like super detailed. I'm like, "Girl, you're not gonna do that," and she did it, and I'm proud of her.
That's awesome. Well, what's something else would you that you
Someone at the pop up, she used to do latch hook, but she wanted to try out tufting. She came from the Melbourne area, but she did a stained glass of a bird, and I thought that came out really nice. It was super like intricate, like complex, but detailed. But she did it, and it came out really good. And I can send you the photo, but it
That's
was
awesome.
nice.
Yeah, I definitely want to see. I definitely want to see them so I could share them. What is there like a common theme? Have you noticed like a common theme that a lot of people I'm like, are you getting to a point where you're almost like a tattoo shop that you have like a binder where you show people like, well, I don't know what to make, and
I
then you're
know.
like, well, what about this? And then like they flip through the book, and you're like, you can make a heart, or you could do
Yeah,
this.
no, I try to push hearts because that's the easiest, or flowers because you have like your petals.
Yeah,
But no, I mean, I'll send them stuff I think that's easy that they won't get overwhelmed with, which is like the Murakami heart, like the hypey stuff. There's like a heart, not heart, flower or whatever. But I did team up with a local artist, Jennifer. I don't know if you saw it on the website, but she was able to like give me a couple of her artwork, which is like super beginner friendly, I feel. So if people wanted to pick from that, they totally could.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
No, I did not see that. That's cool. I love the fact that you can teaming up with different people, and that may be even something that you could even like a future project, like where you do collabs for like with
Oh
different
yeah.
artists every
Coming
month, right?
soon.
Right?
Rachel,
You
coming soon.
write it down. I love ideas. This is the reason why I love having these conversations because I think these are such fun ideas to be able
Yeah.
to do, and be able to kind of be able to have because I mean it really is endless the opportunities that you have
Mhm.
on the creativity side of it and how you want to collaborate with different people.
Yeah.
I think it's like a really fun thing to be able to do, and then so there's a lot of different elements when it comes to that. What's the goal? What's the goal of this? I mean, is there a goal or is it just kind of like I'm just kind of going?
I'm just kind of going. I mean, I've always envisioned, like, first, I envisioned the shop in the Milk District, which is crazy because I'm in the Milk District. So I kind of manifested it. I don't know. It happened. But I would like to do other stuff in here too, like neon signs and kind of grow it from there. But right now, I'm just going with the flow.
Have you always manifested? Have you always
Never.
kind of thought really? It's kind of straight, but with this
It's
certain thing you
weird.
have.
I have. I
because
had no
in
idea.
from us our short time talking, I've heard you mention things like, well, yeah, I was like, hey, it'd be cool, and I told people I was going to have a shop and this and that, like those are all things that are people like I've had previous guests that have all talked about how like
Mhm.
they believed it and then they achieved it. Like Maffrey's and Ivanhoe, that's how they did it. Like he
Yeah.
basically had a vision of where it was going to be, and all of a sudden, that's what it is. Sandwiched in Miami, that's how they did it. Like
Mhm.
he had like they just did a pop up, and then he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna open a store,
Mhm.
and you know, and like Ayocho, and then like everyone's like, oh really, and like his wife was like, what are you talking about? But they did it because they talked
Yeah.
about it, and they kind of, you know, it's crazy, but like that's the reason why like I love hearing, you know, that's why I was kind of curious if you often do that or not, because that's
Mhm.
something that, you know, if you know, sometimes that's a hard thing to be able to kind of picture it, or even enough to be able to say it out loud to
Yeah.
make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, honestly, after the pop up, I didn't see myself doing it anymore. But I had so many people reaching out, like, "Oh, you have to, you have to." So then I looked again. But yeah, it just meant, I guess I manifested this place, which is nice. Because I feel like whenever you want something, I feel like there's obstacles that always get in the way. Like for example, when I was looking for the spot, the day I found it, my uncle had a stroke, and
Oh
then
wow.
I was like, "All right, maybe I shouldn't like." I don't have time to worry about this. But my mom was like, no, he's in a hospital. Just go talk to the landlord. And I did, and I got the spot. So I feel like there's always something that happens. When I did my grand opening, my cousin passed away like 2 days before. So it's like, and so then you would think like, should I even do this? Like, what the heck?
Wow.
But you just keep on going. And I don't know, that could be the enemy getting in your way, but then you just have to push through and
Is
trust God. But
I think a lot of times that's what it is. It's a test. It's a test. You gotta like,
yeah,
and you basically gotta just be like, how badly do you want it? And this is kind of where you're gonna be tested,
yeah,
you know, to make it happen, which is definitely what it is. And you're definitely making it. I'm super excited for you. I think it's fantastic what you're doing. What advice would you give someone for wanting to start something?
um, to just do it. You probably heard that a lot, but like
Yeah.
just go for it. Like I feel like people get in the way of their own like way, whatever. I don't know how I'm saying that
Yeah. Yeah.
correctly,
They
but
get in their own way.
yeah, there we go. And they get in their head. Like I feel like I was at that point in the beginning because I was like, yeah, yeah, I'll do it. But like, where's the money coming from? Like, how am I going to start this? How am I going to do it? But just do it, and like things will fall into place. And if you fail, just start again or whatever, you know. But yeah, just go for it. And if always ask for help, get a mentor. You know, you can't do it all alone. So yeah, just go for
Do you
it.
have a mentor?
I would say yes. I'm a part of a, I mean, I don't pay her, but
Yeah.
to me, she's my mentor. I'm a part of a business like group coaching thing. And she hosts like events throughout the year called VAG. I know that's a weird acronym, but it's Vision, Ambition, and Goals.
I
So
love it.
whenever I need help, it's like a community of girls. I just go to them or I go to her, and she kind of helps out with the business, which is nice.
No,
I don't have anyone to look after, you know.
that's so important. I know you went to UCF. Did you ever do any of the, what is it, Blackstone, any of that stuff, like the entrepreneurial stuff? Did you ever do any of those things?
No,
Did this kind of like this just kind of fall, because this was never like a thing where you just kind of like, this was just like, you know, I'm going to do accounting because I mean obviously that's a business aspect of it, but like everyone needs accounting, which is great.
yeah.
And then but at the same time you just kind of were like, I'm just gonna, I just,
Just
it all just kind of fell in, and you just like, I
yeah.
like this, I'm gonna keep
I
doing
mean,
it.
luckily, I mean, unfortunately, the lockdown is what kind of made this a thing for me. So
It
if it
made
wasn't,
everyone crazy, and that's
yeah,
how
I
things
mean,
came up. Yep.
yeah, because I used to have like the boiler room every day in my room to make it seem like, oh yeah, I'm dancing with people, listening to music, or I had DJ Nice on my Instagram just to get that like feeling of like
Yeah.
normal. Yeah, so
No, I
but no,
totally
this
get
was
it.
never the lockdown.
I love it. So what, how can people give a little plug? I'm going to put everything in the show notes as well, but like give people a little bit of information on like where they can follow you, where they can come sign up for classes, you know, all those type of things that you can provide. So that way they can check you out online and follow you, as well as also maybe sign up for a class and make their own rug.
Yeah. So you could look me up on Instagram. It's rugged perspective underscore ORL. On the website, ruggedperspective.com. Not on MySpace, but I am on Facebook and Yelp and Google.
Did you say
Uh,
MySpace?
yeah,
That
MySpace.
exists still? That still
I,
exists?
I think it does. I think they're trying to come back. But you can book online. And And if you want to book a private, like a birthday party or something separate from what's on the calendar, you absolutely can. Just email us and we can set something up. And yeah, come book a class. Super easy, beginner friendly. My mom can do it, so I know you can. And if you mess up, you won't mess up. Let's not say that. You're not gonna mess up.
So
But
when they make it, when you're done making the rug, do you clean it up? Like, I mean, I seen like you kind of like shave. There's like a shaving type of like the trim and all that stuff.
yeah,
And then
so
do they
you
get to take it home as soon as it's done, or is there a process afterwards?
depending on the day. So on the weekends, because we start our classes in the morning, you're able to finish it and take it home. On the weekdays, because we start classes at 6, I don't want you staying here all night because I know people work the next day and I work the next day. But yeah, so when you're done tufting your rug, we'll check for any like gaps, we'll fill that in, and then you'll glue the back of it, finish the backing of it, you add felt to it, and then we'll shave the rug. So that's probably the most therapeutic part that I want people to try out because it's very soothing. It's a therapeutic type of like artwork. And that's it, and you take it home. And then people make
Nice.
rugs. So that's one thing. I'm sorry.
No, no, go
That's
on.
one thing I really do like about hosting workshops, and I wish it was there when I was starting because I had no idea how to make rugs. But people pick up tufting and they start making their own rugs, and then they start doing commission work. So people can start like their own hobby or side gig, which is nice. So I love that part of it too.
The other cool part is you can then possibly have extra people that you can possibly hire as you grow, and then that way you could have it open more often, and
Yeah.
people can come and do it anytime they want and stuff
Mhm.
like that, which is pretty awesome to be able to do. What
Yeah.
how'd you come up with the name Rugged Perspective?
Rugged perspective. I knew I always wanted the name rugged because tufting to me just sounded too rough and like hurtful. So rugged, the R's is like round. So I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go rugged. Then I was at church and then the pastor was talking about perspective and God. And then it just hit me. And I was like, oh, and I cussed at church and I shouldn't have. But I was like, this is it. And I told my friend, like, this is it. It's rugged perspective. Because it's all about perspective. Like, it could look good to you, it could look bad to someone else. But if it's good to you, then you good. It's your rug. You made it. So
Or even if it like came out really nice and you're like, why the heck would you do I don't know, like a piece of turd, like like a crap like emoji, like why would you make that your carpet? And like, well, that's for my bathroom and I wanted to put it. You
and
know what I
only
mean? Like one of those. You could do that.
so it came to me one day. I was like, all right. That was August 21st, 2020, 21, 22.
Really?
Yeah.
Gee, I love how you remember that. Do you write a lot of your ideas down too or no?
I do, but I know that day because it was my sister's birthday. And I remember that year, my birthday was like 2 weeks before my sister's birthday. When I blew out the candles, I was like, all right, you guys, I'm gonna do a business, is for rug tufting and a workshop. So I just remembered that because I have it written down in my notebook. So I have all the days listed.
So you do journal then?
Somewhat, not a lot, but
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you know. I love for a little perspective of yourself to think back if there's anything else that you've kind of put out there, because there's at least now 3 things I've heard you talk about how you've like put it out there and said it and spoke it into
hey,
existence.
maybe I
So
should do
and
more.
that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I'm just pointing it out as an outsider,
Yeah.
pointing it out because I think it's so important. I'm also saying it because like there's a lot of me like where I'm like people ask me all the time like, well, what do you want to do with Deli Fresh Threads? And I'm like, I don't know.
Mhm.
I just want to keep growing it. I'm like, I've been doing it long enough. I'm like, I just want to keep growing my brand. I was
Mhm.
like, so I appreciate when I see people speaking it into existence and making it work, because you are making it work and doing everything. So I definitely admire, and I think it's a great what you're doing. And I'm looking forward to taking some classes
Thanks.
with you. And my last question is, how have you had anyone who's like become like kind of almost like obsessed, so they're constantly coming, like they've done more than one rug, like, and they have like rugs everywhere, or they're giving rugs out to people?
Yeah, I've had people that have come back like 3 to 4 times, and I appreciate that. Like, I kind of want to do a membership just based because of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, she lives out in not Port St. Lucie. I don't know, far, like 2 hours or an hour and a half.
Oh wow.
But she's just itching to make another rug. She wrote me last week. She's like, I need another rug. I'm like, let me send you a list. Because if you're interested in tufting, I'll send you like a checklist so you can start getting your items and starting. But yeah, people come back to me because there's so many things you can do. Like
Yeah.
after you do one thing, you want to do something to go with it. It's addicting.
One last question. I'm sorry for so many questions.
No, you're good.
Can you make like a like almost like make them into like patches where they can become like a patch, so they go on a sweater almost like a like, because I think to myself of like, like a Letterman's jacket type thing,
Yeah.
like how they like it's made out of
And
like,
then,
what is it, chenille, I think is what it is. Like, is
okay.
that, can you make stuff like that where then you can become like a patch and you can like literally put it on a sweater or whatever?
Yeah, and you could like sew it in. Yeah, you could
Yeah.
definitely do. There's so many things you can do. I want to get into making pillows one day, so we can do like maybe a
Oh,
2-day class. We do pillows, tabletops, like stool
I
tops.
love the idea of a pillow,
Um,
a couch pillow. Like you can do like make your
yeah.
own tufting version
Mhm.
of a pillow, and then that way, so then you're like you're tufting the pillow part, the design of it, and then you just
Yeah,
make it into a pillow, and
yeah,
then you can put it on your couch, and then I can have more than one. I can have a
exactly.
bunch of them. Oh, that's dangerous. I already know what I'm going to make with it when you get there. Um, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it,
No, of course.
Arelys. I think it's amazing what you're doing. I think it's I'm super excited. That's one of the reasons like I selfishly wanted to talk to you, even though we had never met. I've been following you, and I was just like, I want to talk to her because I want to do this, and at the same
Uh-huh.
time, I want to know. I want more people to know what this is, so
Yeah,
that they can try to do it. So,
I
I thank you very much for coming on and being on the show today.
appreciate
That's our show for today. Thank you so much for Arias Rodriguez of Rugged Perspective for being
Yeah.
on. Definitely check it out if you're craving and saying, hey, you know what? I need a little color. Or I need something fun to add into my house, or I need to make a cool gift, or I just need a good date night. Guess what? Rugged
Oh,
Perspective. That's where
yeah.
you're going. You got to set up a thing. Maybe you got a cool idea and you can pass it on to her, like I did during the interview, because I want to go. I want to be there for Orlando City night or something like that, where she's making everyone's doing Orlando City stuff, or UCF, maybe a UCF night. I could
Um,
definitely get a UCF nighthead carpet, a rug. I definitely would take that as well. But
mhm.
definitely check her out if you're in the Milk District. Sign up and look it online. You'll see all the information on the show notes. If you like the show, make sure to support me, subscribe, tell your friends. If you want to support my brand, check out Deli Fresh Threads, do some shopping. Obviously, if you're tufting and you're eating a sandwich, I want to see a selfie of that, like as eating a sandwich while you're tufting. I definitely want to see that. Thank you. Until next time, keep eating sandwiches and follow your passion.
Hey.